Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Tanyaoff with yanxa.creations. If you're new, welcome. And here I love to do my two favorite things, and that is crafting and experimenting. Today we are going to be making DTF transfer films, but we're going to do it with inkjet ink. So we've been doing lots of the DTF sublimation hack here on this channel, and we've even gone ahead and done it with sublimation markers for persons who don't have a sublimation printer. But what if you actually want to do full-on colored prints? So we decided to try this with inkjet ink so that we can give you all the printer settings and the press settings that's going to be required for you to join us in this great hack that's been going on. If we're going to be doing a DTF transfer, then really we're going to need DTF transfer film, and we're going to need our DTF powder. So for today's video, we are going to be using the DTF transfer film and DTF powder from Gozai. Thanks Gozai for reaching out and sending me these products. So the DTF powder and the DTF transfer film from Gozai, you can pick these up on Amazon. You can purchase them separately, and I think it's a great thing you can purchase it as a bundle, and so that allows you to save a little. You can get the bundle with either the A4 film or the A3 film and the DTF powder. So let's go ahead and get this bag done with Gozai Products. Let's see how it works out. So the Gozai powder comes in this Ziploc bag, and you have this is a 1 pound bag. And as I said, you can purchase either the A3 or the A4. I decided to get the A3 today. Thanks Gozai. So I've sent my design to the printer. I always do a test run on these products, and here is my test run. And it went through the printer with no issues. The film went through the printer with no issues. Again, I had no wheel marks, and so liking this film. So I did set my printer to premium presentation matte, high quality. I did switch off bidirectional printing. So what that does is to slow the print down so that you do not get any wheel marks. As I said, I'm going to go ahead and cure it in my oven. So we're going to set my oven to 270, and we're going to cure for 1 minute. So let me go switch this on and set it to 270 or thereabout. So I've got some thermometers inside the oven so that when I get to around 270, I know I'm ready to go. So we're just waiting on the print, and once we get that powder on there, we're gonna cure it here. All right, so I've gotten it out of the printer. It went through, no hassles, and you can see this ink is really wet. The ink is really wet, so please don't touch. This is inkjet ink. So I'm just laying this on a piece of parchment paper to catch any excess. So I'm not sure how fast this ink is going to dry compared to sublimation ink, but let's just do it quickly. That's a really great experiment, actually. Let's see which one gives us a little bit more time. Maybe, yeah. Okay. My oven is around 250. Let's set that aside. Okay. This looks like I have... Ooh. All right. I'm just going to go ahead and put this in my oven. Just pop it in on top of this tray. So this is the tray that I'm using. Let's pop that in there. Oh wow. All right. This did not need a minute. I think the temperature was a little bit higher than it should have been. So let's get that out. We're all ready to go. Wow, that was fast. So all along, I have been curing my DTF transfers under my heat press. I decided to cure in the oven today, and it was super fast, and the cure looks really good. So let's go ahead and press. So I do notice that So one thing is that I do notice that my design, there are some places where it seems that I don't really have much powder, but I don't think it's the fault of the powder. It seems to me as if the inkjet ink dries faster than the sublimation ink. So this was a really huge design with a lot of ink, and so it took quite a while to print. So I could see where this side of my print was a little bit drier than this side. But we're gonna press it and see. So let me just give this a pre-press. So I'm using 325 for 15 seconds, and I'm using medium to heavy pressure. All right, so we want to give it a good amount of pressure. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get my design onto the bag and press it. We're pressing for 15 seconds. All right, we are ready. Okay. So this is a cold peel. So we're gonna let this cool off and then I'll be right back. All right, it's cool now. I did use the ceramic ornaments, just running over the surface to help me to cool it a little bit faster. All right, let's give it that second press and talk about it. All right, so there you have it. Wow, that's hot. Okay, you can hardly feel this on the fabric. It does feel like you sublimated on the fabric actually. And it looks good. It looks good. So what do you think? I lost some of the blue over on the right here. So right over here, I did lose some of that blue. But okay, here are some of my thoughts on the inkjet version. So this was a pretty large print and it had a lot of ink. And I do feel that for this, I'm not thinking that there was anything wrong with the DTF film or with the DTF powder. I did do this test print earlier and it turned out really great. So I think this technique will work with inkjet ink, but I think this design itself was pretty big and it had a lot of ink that needed to go onto the film. And the printer was printing for a really long time. And so I do suspect that the regular inkjet ink dries faster. It is lighter, it's thinner than the sublimation inks. And so I think it dries faster than the sublimation ink. Areas of the print that had lighter blue, so it had less ink, it seemed to me as if the ink had started to dry. So when I started to add the powder and I dusted it off, on this side, there was not much of the DTF powder there. So when I dusted it off, it all fell off, and that said to me that the ink on that part was dry. This side of the ink the design has a much deeper blue, and so the amount of ink that was put onto the film on this side was a lot heavier than on this side. So by the time it finished printing this side very slowly, the ink on this side had started to dry. And so I did not have much DTF powder there, and so we are getting a printout like this. So I think it will work with the inkjet ink. However, you'd have to be careful of what it is that you're printing, how much ink is going to be put on the film and how long it's going to take to print that design, because a part of your ink may end up drying before you are ready to put on your powder. So this was a smaller design, and so I did not have that problem. All right, the entire thing was wet. It was completely coated by the DTF powder, so I would not say that. So So I wouldn't say that anything was wrong with the DTF powder or with the film. I think the issue was the inkjet ink. I still think it looks great, but this is my bag, so I'm cool. So Gozai, thanks so much again for sending me your DTF film and your DTF powder to try. I had fun with this project again. I hope this was very informative, and I really do hope that I could shed some light on the DTF hack if you wanted to use inkjet ink. Don't forget, it works, but you just have to be mindful of its limitations. So thanks again for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.